The first night the screaming began, the palace physicians blamed neural overload. The second night they blamed cosmic radiation. By the third night, when half the palace was awake and the twin princesses still trembled in terror beneath the vaulted crystal ceiling of their chamber, the truth could no longer be ignored. The daughters of the Alien Empress, rulers of the greatest interstellar dominion ever known, were afraid of the dark. They were only 6 planetary cycles old, still children by imperial standards, born moments apart beneath the emerald skies of Zithra Prime. Princess Lyrics and Princess Selah were identical in appearance. Small glowing horns, silver-violet skin dusted with faint star-like freckles, and wide luminous eyes that reflected wavelengths humans could not even see. Yet their cries were shaking an empire. And nothing the galaxy offered could soothe them. Across a 5-system radius, lullaby algorithms failed. Dream stabilizers malfunctioned. Psychic empaths collapsed from exhaustion. Even the Empress herself, Valeth the undying conqueror of 12 civilizations, found herself powerless against the nightly terror gripping her daughters. That was when her intelligence council mentioned a captive. A human, the Empress had scoffed. Her throne room shimmered with tactical holograms and living starfire. You suggest a single fragile mammal succeed where my empire has failed? He is different, the high strategist replied carefully. Formerly a father. His offspring died during the Terra collapse. Since then, he has shown unusual psychological resilience. He calms others. Valetha's 3 hearts slowed. A father. That night, deep in the labor quarters beneath the palace, John Carter felt the guards arrive before he heard them. Alien boots hummed against the floor. Gravity shifted as stealth fields disengaged. He rose slowly from his maintenance bench, hands already raised. I did what you asked, he said. The coolant grid's stable. The guards said nothing. Their rifles glowed faint blue. John followed without resistance. Since Earth's fall 5 years ago, he had learned one great truth. Survival was obedience. The palace elevator carried him upward through layers of energy shielding and living crystal architecture. Towers unfolded like blooming flowers as they passed. Above it all loomed the Empress's citadel, vast, ancient, and alive. John had expected execution. Instead, he was escorted into a room filled with soft bioluminescent light and the faint rhythmic sound of sobbing. The twins lay curled beneath a star-woven canopy, trembling as spectral shadows rippled across the walls. Medical drones hovered uselessly. Psychic amplifiers lay shattered where the girls had screamed them into overload. And seated at the bedside, cloaked in royal luminescence and barely contained fury, sat Empress Valeth. Her gaze pinned John like a gravity well. You are a father, she said. John swallowed. I was. You will help them sleep. It was not a request. John stepped forward slowly, studying the children not as alien royalty, but as frightened kids. Their fear was raw and real. He recognized it instantly. Night terrors. They were reliving something. Over and over. Kneeling beside the bed, he spoke gently, softly, the way he had once spoken to his own daughter, Emily, when storms shook their home in the final days of Earth. Hey little stars, he whispered. You're safe right now. Selah's eyes snapped open. Lyrics gripped her sister's hand. They stared at him. No screams. The palace guards tensed. John didn't look at the Empress. He kept his voice steady. Bad dreams don't mean bad futures. They're just your mind trying to make sense of scary things. The twins' breathing slowed, only slightly, but enough for John to notice. He gently pulled a small, folded cloth from his pocket. It was worn, frayed, a fragment of an old blanket. My daughter used to hold this, he said. It helped her remember she wasn't alone. Lyrics reached for it hesitantly. When her fingers touched the fabric, the psychic turbulence in the room stilled. The shadows receded. For the first time in weeks, the twins slept. Silence fell over the chamber. The guards stood in shock. And the Empress, immortal ruler of star fleets and black hole forges, felt something she had not known in centuries. Relief. From that night on, John was summoned every evening. He told the twins stories. Not galactic legends or imperial war chronicles, but simple human tales. About a blue planet with oceans that reflected sunlight like jewels. About ice cream and bicycles. About rain tapping softly against windows. about a little girl who once called him Dad. The girls listened with wide, shining eyes, clinging to his sleeves. Their psychic storms softened. Their sleep deepened. And for the first time since their mysterious trauma, the twins did not scream. But the galaxy was changing around them. Deep within the Empire's data arrays, forbidden records began quietly surfacing. John noticed palace corridors growing tense. The Empress's military advisors argued behind closed doors more often. Patrols doubled in orbit. One night, after the girls finally drifted into peaceful sleep, John sensed something wrong. The Empress did not dismiss him immediately. She stood watching him. "You are not like the others," she said. John met her gaze. "Neither are they." Valeth regarded the sleeping twins. They were present when the Void Rebellion collapsed. John's blood ran cold. "You mean when your own generals tried to overthrow you?" "Yes." He understood instantly. They saw something they shouldn't have. Valeth's jaw tightened. They saw the weapon. John felt the weight of it then. The twins weren't just afraid of the dark. They were reliving a massacre. An extinction-level betrayal sealed behind their nightmares. "What will you do?" John asked carefully. The Empress turned back to him. "Erase their memory. The Empire cannot risk what they know." John's heart lurched. "You'd wipe part of who they are." "Yes." "No," he said, his voice firm. The guard shifted. For a moment John expected to die. Instead, the Empress studied him with curiosity instead of rage. Why does he still resist? She wondered. Then she saw it. Love. Not possession. Not control. Protection. And something ancient within the immortal ruler stirred. "They are heirs to a throne," Valeth said. "Their children first," John replied quietly. That night the twins dreamed again. But this time John did not tell soft stories. He stayed when the terror began. He held their shaking hands. And when they finally found the courage to speak, the truth spilled out in broken whispers and silent images projected from their minds. Entire worlds burning. A betrayal encoded into a weapon meant to rewrite reality itself. Their mother's closest general and architect of the Empire's superweapon had tried to erase not just the Empress, but every future successor. The rebellion hadn't failed. It had been delayed. The twins had survived because John Carter years later would be there to teach them not how to forget but how to endure. At dawn the Empress listened. And for the first time in her immortal reign she wept. The Empire mobilized. John was no longer a prisoner. He was placed under royal protection. The twins refused to sleep without him nearby. As rebel fleets emerged from folded space at the Empire's edges, the Empress stood beside the human father who had reshaped her destiny. "Stay with them," she commanded as war ignited among the stars. "I will," John said simply. Fire burned across constellations. Worlds fell. But in one quiet chamber at the heart of the Empire, two children slept peacefully while a human father figure hummed soft songs from a lost Earth. Weeks passed. The rebellion shattered beneath imperial force. The traitorous general was captured and brought before the Empress. "You failed," Valeth said. "No," the general spat, eyes burning with defiant madness. "I awakened something older than your reign." John did not witness the execution. He was with the twins when the final tremor of the war passed through the quantum fields. It was over. One evening, as starlight filtered gently into the chamber, Lyrics asked a question that changed everything. "Will you leave us like the others did?" John froze. Selah clung to his arm. "Everyone leaves." John's chest ached. "Not everyone." The Empress stood quietly in the doorway. "Then stay," she said. The galaxy held its breath. John looked at the twins. At the Empress. At the empire that had taken his world yet given him purpose again. "I'm not royal," he said. Valeth stepped forward. "You are something rarer. You are irreplaceable." And so the human mechanic who had lost his family on a dead planet became something no empire could manufacture. A father to the future of 1,000 worlds. Years later, the twins would grow into rulers who governed not with terror, but with mercy. And across the stars, legends would whisper not just of the alien Empress, but of the human dad who taught her daughters how to sleep in the dark again.